Grace and peace, beloved of God. It's Apostle Cheryle Richardson here. We're about 5, 6, maybe 7 minutes behind schedule. Forgive us for that. We're going to go ahead and get started with our Shatter the Silence live Facebook discussion. We're going to have a candid discussion regarding domestic violence and the importance of safety planning. We are hopeful that we'll be able to get our guest connected. That's Lisa Alexander. She's amazing. She was with us on last week, and she's going to be with us on tonight so we can talk about safety planning, why it's important, okay? Make sure that you share this broadcast, and make sure that you can do a watch party, actually. Do a watch party. People might actually come. We're excited because our Facebook discussion on last week garnered last time I checked, 1,023 actual views of the replay worldwide. So we're excited about that. Our purpose is to raise awareness and to educate folk. Hey, I see Lisa. So here we go. You all know. I'm going to try to get her to join us. Let's see. She can ask, and I'll say yes, of course. Getting an invitation to join us momentarily. All right, so we've got hey,
Hi,
there you are. How are you?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm fine. I appreciate you taking the time. I know how crazy busy you are. I think Kelly's there. Hey, Kelly's helping me out because y'all know I'm technologically challenged. Okay,
Hi, Kelly.
I'm anointed in a lot of areas, but technology is not one of them. Okay, all right. It needs to be a human being with thoughts and feelings and emotions, and then I'm good. Inanimate objects and we have issues.
I know what you mean.
We're going to be talking about safety planning, but before we do, I know that everyone that maybe views this, it's possible that you weren't one of the 1,023. There were 1,023 views on the replay of the replay.
That's awesome.
That was so exciting.
Yeah.
Worldwide.
Yes.
I was so excited.
That's amazing. Spreading the word.
Yes. So what I want to do right now, though, is I want for Lisa to talk about Stand Up Survivor. I sent you somebody today, by the way.
Okay. Awesome. Send them.
They're kind of in the jam. So I want Lisa to talk about Stand Up Survivor, what the impetus was for starting that. Because we can go through an experience and just kind of be relieved that it's no longer our life and not necessarily feel compelled to do anything about it. You know what I mean? So I want to talk about where that drive, where that motivation comes from. If you all have any plans or events or anything like that coming up, anything in particular you want our prayerful support about.
That'd be awesome.
And then a little bit about your story because it's really so hopeful. It's so awesome.
Okay, absolutely. Well, I'm so glad to be here. I'm just so glad that you opened the platform. So thank you for that, for the conversation. My name is Lisa Alexander, and I founded Stand Up Survivor. And I founded it because as a survivor, I was looking for a place when I was in my situation, in my marriage, a place to land my feet, a place to understand what I was going through. And I live in Orlando, and there was a place called Harbor House that was very helpful for me. But there's only one in the area, and you can only house so many people. You can only help so many people. And I felt for myself that God didn't allow me to go through it for no reason. It had now become my purpose to be able to help others. So I married the love of my life when I was 23 years old, and we have 2 beautiful children. And we met in church, so I thought it was going to be good, Mm-hmm. But it did end up starting slowly, and that's one thing we talked about last week is domestic violence doesn't just start with a punch across your face. Mm-hmm. It starts with controlling behaviors and things like that. Don't wear that, don't go there. And so we ended up having 2 children back to back. My kids are now about to be 11 and 12. And they were 2 and 3 when I left. So I thank God for that big gap that's there. Yeah. But it started, verbal, then it became physical. There was financial abuse, there was sexual abuse, there was all different types of abuse that you get when in a marriage, and it just begins to escalate. Mm-hmm. And so I ended up leaving And after about 6 years, and it's so funny we're talking about safety planning because I'm a researcher, so I do all the work and all the research, and it talks about how important it is to keep documentation, and we'll talk about that later. But I just want to throw that out there because I remember keeping documentation and not having it when I needed it. So we're gonna touch that later.
Right.
So anyway, I decided to stand up once I got out of the relationship. He didn't really want me to go to school or get a kind of education. And so when I did finally branch out, I left with just my children. I always remember driving away with just seeing the little faces in the back seat, and the car just full of stuff, and I just knew that I had to live. I knew that eventually he was going to kill me. It wasn't an if or a maybe. It was either you live or you die. And I knew that the violence had gotten so bad that he was eventually going to kill me. And whether intentionally or unintentionally, it was going to happen. And so I just made the decision to leave. And I did get help through a domestic violence organization. And I just wanted to be able to offer that kind of support and help to other people. And that's why I just had to keep it going,
Okay.
And then if you look at the news, we talked about it yesterday or today, just like you turn on the news, it's happening everywhere, every day, all the time. So we need as many resources as possible.
Yes.
So
yes. And the only way, if you step back and look at it, it's like this monumental, daunting task, because we're not just talking about this horrific issue in the United States. This is worldwide. This is
worldwide.
Everywhere. According to the United Nations, the most dangerous place for a woman is in her own home.
In her own home. Isn't that mind-blowing? In her own home.
In her own home.
Really? Unbelievable.
That's the most dangerous place. And that's according to the United Nations. So that's a worldwide
It's horrible.
You know what I'm saying? And so we can look at some countries and consider them third world and, maybe not as educated, but we have a horrible problem here in this country.
Do.
And
we do.
People reach out to me all the time, and I know they reach out to you all the time, and they're in varying stages of distress.
Yeah.
And it's a constant, there's no end to it. And so the only way I think to combat it is just to cry aloud and spare not, just like the Bible says. You just keep talking about it. And
yes, my
quest, confession is good for the soul, is to make it virtually impossible for folks in authority, especially church folk. Yeah, I'm coming for you to ignore this.
She's coming for y'all. Yes.
To ignore
it.
Because again, I'm an apostle in the Lord's church, right? I'm a prophet, I'm a Christian. I love the Lord. I'm an educator. I'm a therapist. You're a therapist. There are people around us in church that are getting beat silly right after the benediction.
Yep.
And sometimes the person doing the beating just raised the altar or just delivered the sermon.
Woo! You stepping on toes.
Right. I mean, and I have to. I'm mandated.
It's true.
I'm mandated to do it. I'm mandated to do it because it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. And then we want to focus on what people wear. Wear makeup. Don't wear makeup. Wear your natural hair. Don't wear weave. Okay, but can we talk about the black eyes? And can we talk about how no one person is that clumsy? That every time you see them, they are bruised, limping, got shades on, can't look you in the face. You know what I'm saying? It's just, we've got to do better. We've got to do better. We absolutely must do better. So that's the catalyst for me is that, and I referenced Karen Smith last week because as much as it has happened, and I'm a survivor and so are you, something about it happening to someone like her that just really did it for me. I was just done. I was just done. Just done. You can't find anybody saying anything negative about this person. Even though they can find all kinds of negative things, that's still no excuse. But this is someone who, by all accounts, loved the Lord, was faithful in her local congregation, loved music, loved children, worked with special needs children. You're a clinician, so am I. There's the regular classroom, and then there's a special needs classroom, and those two things are the same.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And how did she end up dead?
Yeah.
How did she end up dead? So that, to me, torpedoes this little comforting cloak that we like to wear, especially as Christians, religious, spiritual cloak. God will provide and He will protect. But you know what?
Yeah.
He says in Hosea, my people are destroyed for lack of knowledge.
Lack of knowledge.
Because thou hast
Yes.
rejected knowledge. And
Yes.
because you have, I will reject you from being in authority. You understand what I'm saying? So we like to put a period after that. Sounds real catchy, but it's a semicolon. I checked, and it says, because thou hast rejected knowledge. That is why. So the destruction is occurring because the knowledge is not being made available to people.
Right.
And when people in authority are notified about these things, they're not addressing it.
And you know, I was going to say that about the teacher you were just talking about. Did anybody know to be on the lookout for him? And to, you know, that's a part of the safety planning we're talking about. Did anybody in authority know, hey, do not let him in the door? Hey, you know, but again, she probably kept it a secret. We don't know for a fact, but it's because domestic violence is so personal. It's so shameful.
Yeah.
It can be so shameful. A lot of times we don't say anything. So we're not equipped to protect ourselves and our children and our families.
Right. And really put other people at risk when you think about it, because people are
you and
have
absolutely
lunatic is jumping on you when you get home. Whether the abuser is the man or the woman, it doesn't matter, because anybody can be an abuser and anybody can be a victim. But if I remember correctly, he said he was dropping something off for her. I just remember looking at a picture that was posted on Facebook, and it was supposed to have been like a few weeks after they got married. And I promise you, in her eyes, you look in her eyes, you know, if you're a survivor and you make eye contact with it, you know that look when
there's a radar. It's just there's a radar thing that happens.
She looks like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh my God. You know, so I hate for her family, for the kids. It's so ugly. For the students who were in the classroom with her. But that particular case just really resonated with me. It has really just locked on to me. And it's because I think she's a perfect example of many women, who won't share. And one of the reasons that they don't share is, of course, embarrassment.
There is shame. There's shame. Yeah.
And I want to say this. I would almost hedge a bet that the more educated, right, and the more polished and the more accomplished you are, the more difficult it is to acknowledge this craziness is happening to you.
The more powerful, the CEOs, absolutely, from the top all the way down.
So it's very difficult to acknowledge it, right? It's very difficult to acknowledge it. For that reason, before I forget, we're going to launch a private Facebook group. Anybody's welcome, but it's going to be faith-based. So if you don't want to hear about Jesus and the Lord, then this is not a group you want to join, because we will be talking about how the Word of God applies to these conditions that we find ourselves dealing with on a day-to-day basis. But I think it's important that people in authority, all those apostles, prophets, evangelists, teachers, minstrels, psalmists, all these people who have all this authority in the church, who know that they are trapped in a situation. All right. And maybe it hasn't escalated to you getting punched in your face yet. Maybe just cussing you out right now. Or pistol wall, you know, veiled threats, posture, and all of that. But there's a proven escalation. And the only thing that varies is the amount of time that it takes to get from one stage to the next. Other than that, stage you can just like, it's coming.
It's inevitable. It's inevitable.
It's inevitable. So we're going to do that, but we're going to have a contest, because y'all know I do a contest for everything. Do a contest for everything. We need a name for this private Facebook group that we're going to have, right? It's going to be a faith-based group. And I want you all to inbox me your suggestions for a name. And then I'll do a poll on social media to see which name wins. All right.
That's great.
And the winner will get Kelly's still on here. Yep. The winner will get, because Kelly's she loves fashion design and clothing. She always sewing something, always making something, creating something. So she's making these purses that are really, really awesome. And so the winner will get it's one of a kind, because she does them herself, of one of a kind.
Nice.
She's even making reversible ones now. Listen.
Nice.
Right. So the winner will get that and an Amazon gift card. So
awesome. Love it.
Inbox me your suggestion, okay? And then I will create a poll so that everybody on the planet can vote on it. some of y'all gonna get Pookie and them and Ray Ray and them and Ray to log on and vote for your suggestion. But that's okay. That's okay. We can do that. All right. So that's what we're gonna do. So make sure that you do that, and then we will announce. I'll give you a couple of weeks, and then we'll announce who the winner is. And maybe we'll target 1 June to start this. And I don't know where Lisa went, but I guess she'll be back. So, does anyone have any questions about that? Hey, Evangelist. Anyone have any questions about the contest? Because Kelly's on here so she can answer any questions you may have about her beautiful purses. Any questions? Nope. Okay. Moving on. So we're going to talk about safety planning, and I'm hoping that Lisa can get back on here. One of the things that I've spent time doing today is I've developed a DB safety plan for Anointed Fire Empowerment Enterprises. And what I've done is, if you subscribe to either our Judah's Roar blog, the Line of Judah Global Impact Ministries website, not the Facebook page, the website, or our Anointed Fire, there she is, or our Anointed Fire empowerment courses, if you are willing, if you want to do that, if you want to sign in for that, then what we can do is make sure that you get a copy of the domestic violence plan that we did today. Hey!
I don't know where I went. I'm back though, so sorry.
Okay, well, welcome back. So I was just talking about the fact that I set it up today that anyone who enrolls in our Judah's Roar blog, if you subscribe to the blog, if you enroll in one of our courses, what was the other thing I said? The blog, the course, something else. Oh, the website, the ministry website, not the Facebook page, the ministry website. And I'll post that information later because I don't know if I gave it to Kelly to post. I don't know if she has it at her fingertips. But when you enroll in that, you'll automatically receive a copy of the domestic violence plan. And what we've done is we've researched, just like Lisa does. That's just how it is. We can't help it. We're therapists, so we always digging.
Exactly.
Always digging. And so what I've done is kind of compiled what I thought were the best points from several that I saw, added some things that I felt were missing. And so if you enroll, as you subscribe in any one of those 3 areas, then you'll automatically get emailed a copy of the DB plan. Okay. So I wanted to make sure I said that. And for those of you who have already subscribed to one of those things, you'll need to subscribe to something else to get this, because I set it up that it's triggered when you subscribe. Now it's effective now, so it's not retroactive. Okay. All right. Any questions about that? Okay, so let's talk about safety planning. What is safety planning? What is it? What is safety planning?
Are you asking me?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I thought you were asking the people. I didn't know if we were waiting for them to reply.
And people too. Any people know what safety planning is?
Anybody?
Does anybody know? What is safety planning? It's not a trick question.
All right, so I'll answer. Safety planning is creating a plan, whether you're leaving this in the home, whether you're deciding to leave, even after you leave. Creating a safety plan is creating a system that works together so to keep you safe. And we're going to go through all the different details of it. It really is just like a plan that you would really kind of make for something else, but it literally is one that you create to save your life. It's really just a breakdown of a plan to keep you safe at all times, you, your children, and your family. Right. I mean, I think you touched on it earlier too, that it's not just a person that they're going after. They're hurting the children. They're hurting people in public, random people, those children in the classroom. It doesn't matter. Right. You know, it really does. And you're not dealing with a person that's being rational. And so that's what you want to understand. And it's necessary to understand if this plan is going to work for you, that it's literally a matter of life and death. Life and death.
Literally a matter of life and death. Yeah.
And it's personal. It's personal. My safety plan is not going to look like your safety plan or her safety plan or his safety plan. Right. It's personal because all our lives are different dynamics in it. Mm-hmm. And it literally is life or death. You know, we make a lot of plans. We plan to do a lot of things. And so why not for the safety of our life?
Right.
You know.
Right. And now for those of you who think, well, I love him or her, they didn't mean it. We talked about this last week. We're not gonna fight with you about that. We're not.
Woo.
We're not gonna fight with you. We're gonna pray that you get a clue and a revelation and buy a vow if you need to. But we're not gonna fight with you about it because everybody gets there at their own pace. My concern, and I think Lisa's concern, is that if you don't calculate that pace right, you could end up dead.
Yes.
Before you get anywhere near out a door. Okay. So the first thing I want to say before we even get into the details of the plan itself is do not make a public service announcement about you leaving. Not because you are sad and want to hug, not because you want to cuddle and you hope that wakes them up, not because you're angry and you're tired of them walking all over you. Do not allow those words to escape your lips. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. It's like throwing a lit match on a kerosene. Don't do it. And even if you don't get a reaction right then, let's just say you blurt that out. The fact that they don't react in a rageful way at that moment means absolutely nothing. Because what has happened is you have put it in their head that you're capable of thinking for yourself, and that's against the rules.
That's against the rules. And their possession is, wait a minute, their possession is thinking of leaving. I don't think so.
And right.
So they may be calm in the moment, but something is stirring underneath.
Right.
For sure.
Right. And so it's better to not say it. Now, for those of you who it's like, oh, I already did that part, don't say it again.
Yeah.
Don't say it again. Don't continue to say it. I'm gonna call the police if you don't do that. Don't do it. Okay? I cannot emphasize that enough. And like I said, if you've already done it, don't do it again. You can't undo it, but don't repeat it. Don't do that. Because you don't know what's going on in their head. And one thing is clear when you're talking about an abusive situation, it really has nothing to do with you. It's about you being in possession. It's about them owning you and controlling you and manipulating you. And your sole purpose for existing, right, is to supply their needs, which are insatiable. It's impossible to satisfy.
It's impossible. No matter what you do.
It's not possible. You can't cook well enough. You can't dress well enough. You can't be good enough in the bedroom. You can't be pretty enough. You can't be skinny enough. You can't be fat enough. It doesn't matter. You can't.
Because it's not about you.
Because it's not about you. And so because it's not about you, you're not even involved in any real discussion when you talk to them about how they're treating you. They are not at all concerned about what you're saying.
No.
Especially if they have tears. They just don't.
Yeah.
They just don't. So we know that you're amazing, and one day we want you to be called that you're amazing, but they don't think you're amazing, and they're not going to treat you like you're amazing. Okay.
Yeah.
So a safety plan you should have, and oftentimes I hear people say we have to have the safety plan when you leave, and absolutely. But what the Lord has really impressed upon my heart is people don't understand that even if you choose to stay, and like we've said, we're not going to force you out the door of your house or anything, but especially if you plan to stay, you need a plan.
Yes.
You need a plan if you plan to stay and live. You need a plan. You have to have a plan. It's like insurance. You need it, and if something miraculous happens and it never happens again, then that's wonderful. But that's not.
But you are prepared either way.
You're prepared
either way.
Yeah.
And our goal is to keep you alive.
Yes.
We want to keep you safe.
At the end of the day,
we just want to keep you alive. And that's what I tell people that I work with all the time. I'm like, my goal is just to keep you alive. Whether you leave today, tomorrow, next year, my goal is to keep you alive. So how do we keep you alive today?
Right. How do we keep you alive today? What do we need to do to help you navigate this, where you are in your thought process today? And not wanting you to feel like you have to justify for us why you're staying, because there's reason. You know what? Once you've survived it, there's no good reason. It's all part of the process, and that's what we understand. It's just part of the process. And you have to arrive at a place where you're willing and you believe that you're worth it. You understand it's about, and you understand that you don't deserve whatever it is that you're getting. And that you don't have to hang around to get a black eye to understand that this is heading in a bad direction.
Yeah. And it's not love. They didn't do it because they drank too much. They didn't do it because they're so tired or overwhelmed with the bills. They didn't do it because you said something or did something that made them mad. They did it. It was a choice. It was a choice.
They chose to do it. and they're going to continue to choose to do it. And
well, if I didn't know,
no,
it wouldn't matter. It
you
would
would have
just
got
be
it for
something
something
else.
else, right? It would have been.
It,
It would have been something else.
it would have just been
Anything
something
else.
else.
Anything else.
Yeah.
Anything else. I'll never forget getting into it was so crazy. Going to the grocery store. Just going to the grocery store. Nothing exciting. I'm just going to get groceries. This guy was coming out and he said hello. He was not disrespectful. He didn't strike me as flirtatious or anything. All he said was hello.
Yeah.
I said hello. Neither one of us stopped walking. Let's talk about how many hours
Wow.
intense conversation resulted from. I didn't even know what they were talking about. What guy? I'm like, what are you talking about?
Right. Wait, what guy did you say? Yeah.
I had to think. So I'm thinking, okay, that all he did was walk past and not be rude.
Right.
That's all he did. Being polite. That's all. So whether you plan to stay, whether you are in the process of leaving tonight after this Facebook Live,
yeah,
when you are physically in the act of leaving, that's an incredibly dangerous time.
Yeah, increases big time.
And as much relief as you may experience, when you get away, it's not over. It's not over.
No.
So you cannot let your guard down. And you must have a safety plan that will work for you even when you are gone. All right.
And I think people miss that part. I think they think that, oh, well, I'm gone. Good. Whew. No, it's very, even after you're gone, they're like, wait, they got control. They left me. Wait a minute. No, right. You know, God forbid you start to date someone or move on with your life. That's a whole nother story. Yeah, you know how many stories we hear? She gets killed. The new boyfriend gets killed. Everything. Right. So you definitely have to protect yourself on all fronts. Absolutely.
You have to have a plan. And one of the things that I want to point out about a safety plan is, in many of the women that reach out to me, and some of the men who have shared with me as well, have a difficult time discerning who they can talk to and who they should not talk to regarding their plans.
Yeah.
And it's so important that you step outside of emotion and tradition, because tradition under these circumstances will get you killed. You'll have a traditional funeral messing around with tradition when you are in an abusive relationship.
Well, I'm really close to his mom, and so I just wanted to tell her, no, that's her son.
That's her son.
That's just an example, but I mean,
right?
You have to be very particular.
Or his sister, or his cousin.
Yes.
And so
I know y'all are friends, but that's his sister.
And because you're related, and for me to have an expectation that you would, beyond lip service, support me is unrealistic.
Yeah, it is, especially if there's children involved, because that's their aunt, that's their uncle. You're taking our kids away. My nieces and nephews away. You take it to another level with that.
Right. What you want to press charges. You want him or her to go to prison. You want them to go. Okay, so this is my cousin, my brother, my sister, and that's not what I want for them. So now I'm gonna flip flop on you. And so we have to understand that people have limitations. Even those who say that they're there for you, I've learned to discern how there they actually are, and then I can determine how much relying on them I'm going to do.
Correct, and how much you can trust them. Absolutely.
How much I can trust them, because if I can't be okay if they bail on me, I don't need to put that amount of trust there.
Yeah.
It doesn't make them a bad person. It makes them a human being. It makes them a human being.
Yeah.
I'm a military veteran. I'm a therapist, and this aspect of me drives people crazy. But I can step outside of emotion like that.
Yeah. That's good.
And do what I need to do, and keep it moving. Whatever I'm gonna feel it later, and I'm gonna be safe when I feel it. Okay.
Correct.
Right
Yes.
Moment, I am focused. I'm focused. And I've learned that it's really a survival skill. It's a survival skill that really I can attribute to growing up in an abusive home. You learn how to discern and read, and you understand when you're safe and when you're not safe. The key is being able to trust that and not depend on people because of their relationship to you, because they may or may not have the same concerns. And someone has a question here. Doesn't leaving heighten the? Can you?
We can heighten the anger in the abuser and makes more dangerous. The plan has to be applied.
Right. So the safety plan has to be ironclad. So as Henrietta said, doesn't leaving, doesn't it heighten the danger? And it does. It
It does.
becomes more dangerous because they feel that they are losing control.
Yes.
As
Yes.
long as you're not thinking for yourself or being influenced by anyone outside of you, they've got you on lockdown. They've got you on lockdown. And understand that you're a supply for their ego, which is insatiable. You're a supply. Know this. You develop a solid safety plan, you get away, you rebuild your life goes on. What they will do is find another supply.
Yeah,
Another
unfortunately.
supply, and they're gonna put it on social media so you can know they found it, because that's an attempt to lure you back also.
Yeah.
So they're always looking for supply. They're always looking for supply. I had my abuser message me, this was years ago, on Messenger, and said, I was like, what have I ever done to you that you won't talk to me? What?
You did not entertain that, did you?
I threw my phone across the room.
Oh my goodness.
That was my favorite part. I am sensitive to rejection.
Oh Lord.
Right. That's what I that's what I said. I'm like, what? And I didn't even respond. I'm like, this is just
just
and this was like 11 years after. This is 11 years. So again, you need a plan, and you need to know, like I said, my example is not very romantic from last week. It's like stepping in dog poop. But once you step in dog poop,
you still smell it.
You still smell it. Even when you scrub it, clean it, you still smell it. You smell it over the bleach, the Fabuloso, whatever you're using. You just have to chuck the shoes. So once you've been in a situation like that, you don't ever want to go back to a place where you're completely unaware of your surroundings.
Yeah.
Because you don't really know what's going on in their life that's going to cause them to seek you out. Like, I don't know what was going on with them, and I don't care what was going on with them, but all I know is it was 11 whole years. I'm talking about no contact, no, nothing.
Wow.
Which proved to me that it absolutely had nothing to do with me. It's not that I was responding or being polite. It's not that I was entertaining conversation or reaching out or asking questions about them at all.
Yeah. That's so weird.
What are you? 11 years? Stop it. I need you to get your life. And it's not over here.
It's not going to happen over here.
Not happening over here. So, safety plans. What are the key things that you
Okay. So safety planning, first of all, so if you're going to stay, we'll talk about safety planning, say if an argument or something is going on, make sure that you're keeping yourself safe. Stay out of places like the kitchen. If there's a weapon in the home, what did we say? It's like 500%, right? It's like
500%.
Yes.
In
a lethal. Yes. So stay out of the place, like the kitchen. A knife or a screwdriver or something that can be used as a weapon. You want to stay out of those places completely. Try not to get yourself boxed in to the kitchen where you don't have an exit, not just the kitchen, but any room where you can't exit the room. Do your best to kind of stay out of situations like that, like in the midst of an argument. And it's really sad to say this. I'm going to say it though, because it's like when you've been in a domestic violence situation for so long, you learn how to de-escalate the situation, or okay, I'm sorry, oh, I apologize, or try to make it right, where it becomes such a kind of a sick cycle that you know how to bring them down or calm them down. You know what I mean? And if you need to do that to keep yourself safe in the situation, then do that to keep yourself safe. Does it feel good? No, it's horrible, but you need to stay alive in that moment. You have to.
Right.
You have to.
And the bathroom,
another
room that is really, really dangerous. The bathroom is dangerous because typically there's no way out. There's no way out. There's no way out. So you want to not have an intense exchange in the bathroom or in the garage where something can happen to you and you get shoved into the trunk of a car and nobody even know anything happened to you. You want to, I would literally practice exiting from every single room, every place in the house or in the apartment.
And it's hard to hear that. It's hard to say that, but it's going to keep you alive. Do you
That's
want
it.
to do practice domestic violence drills? No. But
No.
will one of those drills hopefully save your life one day? Absolutely.
Yes.
You know, my abuser, one of the bathroom was, I don't know what it was for some reason, because you're vulnerable in the bathroom. You're vulnerable when you're taking a shower. You're vulnerable. And those are one of those places where he would come in and just throw open the shower curtain and go off. And you don't, there's nothing to protect you. There's no safety around you. There's nowhere for you to go. And I even remember that, you know, PTSD is a big one after domestic violence. That's another topic. But it took me, took me forever to shower with the shower curtain closed after I left. I would either not, I would have the clear one, or I wouldn't have one at all, because I was so terrified of what was going to be behind that curtain. You know what I mean? But it's that trauma, it's that control. You can't move. You're stuck right here, and I'm in control at that moment.
Right.
You know?
And if you can't move, you don't have any clothes on.
You don't have any clothes on. What are you gonna do?
It's like you don't have any clothes
and they know it.
And they know.
And they know it. And you can't see outside most of the time outside your shower curtain. So you're terrified, you're scared, you're screaming, you're caught off guard. You know what I mean? It's just so bathroom dangerous, definitely.
Bathroom is dangerous, right? And then again, if you're in the shower, then your body is wet, so the chance of you slipping and falling even when trying to escape, it's just too much. It's too much. So you want to stay out of the bathroom, out of the garage, out of the kitchen for sure. Just know that if there's a firearm in the home, that there's an exponential increase in the likelihood that there's going to be a homicide in that dwelling. Okay. What else did I want to say?
Oh, I have another one. Oh, you go. Okay. Develop like a code word for your friends and family, and you know that's really important. I do that sometimes with some of the survivors that I work with, just so I always know that our communication is between the two of us, because they can access your Facebook, they can access your text messages and your phone calls. And so a code word is really important. So say, for example, you text your sister, oranges or, yellow, and they know that that's the word that you guys use when you're in danger. Something's happening and you need help right away.
Right.
And it sounds silly, but it is so important. Like, oh my goodness, she just texted me. Something that the abuser would have no idea about, but it's a code that they know. The people that need to know.
Right,
so.
Right. And it can be a phrase. If you don't want it to be a word, if you want it to be something that you can weave into a conversation. If I'm in a room with Lisa and I'm being abused by someone that's also in the room with me, if we've worked out something, I can work it into a conversation where she understands that she might look calm and like she has it together, but she needs help right now.
Like I really could eat some mashed potatoes right now.
Right.
Something as simple as that.
Totally random.
Yeah, totally random. And one of the some of the situations, we'd be in a room full of people or in the house with family, and we'd excuse ourselves for a second, and all hell broke loose behind the next door. And so, like you said, you could be with a whole bunch of people and no one knows what's going on.
No one knows, right? So that way you're able to let someone know, and then let them know what you want them to do. Are you wanting them to call 911 if they mention mashed potatoes?
Right.
What is it that you want to happen? Like, how scared are you? You know what I mean?
How scared are you?
What needs to happen right now? Okay. And that's important. Another thing would be a visual cue. It can be having the blinds open, having the blinds closed at a certain time, raising it just a little bit, or sitting a plant in the window, taking a plant that's already in the window, and plant out of the window.
Right.
So that neighbor can know that something is really wrong in there. Okay. And again, it would be something that the abuser would not be privy to. All right.
Yeah.
Oh, we have a question. What's the question?
Are family members sometimes complicit in perpetually supporting the abuser, like blaming the victim?
Okay, so are family members sometimes complicit in perpetually blaming the victim, supporting the abuser? Yes.
Absolutely.
I'm going to do a thing about flying monkeys. And we're going to do examples about what that looks like. Because absolutely.
Yeah.
Sometimes because they're wackadoodle. I said it. And sometimes because it's misguided support.
Loyalty. Yes.
It's misguided loyalty. Sometimes they don't want to believe that there's a monster among them. They want to.
Sometimes it's fair because they've seen what the monster looked like and they don't want any of it.
Right. And sometimes it's fear. So that's why I would, anyone that is related to, all right, enamored with, intimidated by, friends with, has, you told them I'm being abused and they said, oh, it'll be okay, they cut them off the list. That is not someone that you cannot trust them. They can't even figure
No.
out what's going on, and they won't believe you when you tell them. So I would say carte blanche. Don't deal with the families, close friends, and if somebody's afraid of them, they will jeopardize you.
Yep. Yep.
Because if they
Yep.
are
Because they can intimidate them to
threatening,
get information.
yes, yes.
Yeah.
So anyone that's got rose-colored glasses, they're so deep and mystical that they just believe God is going to deliver you, and all you have to do is pray. Don't tell them nothing, because they're not going to help you. They're going to get you hurt.
And and I really think that's one of the things that are really is tough for survivors is family members, and friends that don't do anything about the abuse as they see. They don't say anything about what they see. No one's saying that you need to, disown or ostracize the person, but say something. Keep your hands to yourself. You know, she needs to call 911 on you. Be a man. Don't put your hands on that woman anymore. Or, of course, they're not going to look at the girl and say, hey, be careful. He's an abuser. Oh, I know him. He's going to abuse you.
Right.
But why not? Because the hell that she's living in.
Right.
If she's in a relationship with him. Right. So why wouldn't you open your mouth and say something?
Right.
It's allowing the perpetual abuse to continue.
Right. And what this can look like is them texting you, even the cousin that won't even talk to you at the family reunion, his cousin, her cousin, texting you, reaching out on social media, sending you a friend request. They have not wanted to be your friend on social media all this time. All of a sudden now they want to be your friend.
Watch out.
Going. I just want you to know I'm here for you. All right.
Watch out.
They're on assignment. They're on assignment. They're going to take that information back to who.
And she's working at the hospital now, right? Oh, she lives over in Orlando now. Absolutely.
Right.
You have got to protect yourself.
You got to protect yourself.
And that's another thing too with social media. Don't put your business out when you're out of town, where you're going, location. Don't do it.
Right.
Don't do it.
Right. Right. And once you leave, and even before that, if you want to, I would block folk. Just just ease out of that, where they're not accustomed to seeing information about you all of the time. All the time. All right. You've got to protect yourself, and you have to understand that, again, we're just trying to keep you alive. We're just trying to keep you alive. That is all. All right.
Yeah.
I've known of instances where people have driven cross country looking for folk. So the fact that you left the state you cannot get lax.
Nope.
Once you even get out and you get to your new place, you need a safety plan for, okay, so now I'm here. If they show up here, what's my plan? If they show up here, how do I keep myself safe? What is the quickest way out of here? You know what I'm saying? What am I going to do if I come across them here? If I'm at the grocery store, if I'm at work. See, sometimes people don't leave, they're not safe still because they have the same job.
Correct.
Like the teacher did.
Yep.
She went to work. He knew exactly where she was. He knew exactly what time she would be there. If you can change the hours that you work, if you can get somebody to walk you to your vehicle, you can allow security to know on your job, human resources to know on your job, your supervisor to know on your job, so that everyone can remain safe.
Absolutely.
And then they understand you should not be seeing this person, not even in the parking lot. What are he or she, what are they doing out there? They're not supposed to be there.
So at work, I would like to provide a picture of them so they know exactly what he looks like. Let them know he's not supposed to be anywhere around. Have, like you said, security walk you to and from your car. Like you said, look for alternative places, times and stuff like to work. And park close to the front of the building. And I know it's embarrassing. I know it may be a little bit shameful, but it's going to save your life. It's going to save your life.
Right.
If you have to still continue to work at that job, you need to be safe doing it.
Right. And don't go the same way you've always gone. Don't take the same route that you've always taken at the same time. So you want to be careful about those things. And we want you to have this information so that you can think about and process in your mind. Prayerfully, you never need it. Okay. But if you're already in a situation where you know that you're being mistreated, you at some point in time, you may feel ready to really have the life that you were intended to have, and that does not include being mistreated, called down to your name, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Okay, so work can be kind of complicated. It's embarrassing and all of that. You really should talk to human resources. You should talk to security if you have security at work. You should talk to your supervisor so that they know. Someone at work can help to screen your calls,
Yes.
to
Yes.
screen your visits. You can make it clear I'm not
Yeah.
accepting any gifts, packages, or mail here at work. So anybody showing up here, he can be the FedEx guy. Somebody he got a gift.
I'm good.
I'm not accepting any gifts at work. Okay.
And get a order of protection as well,
Yeah.
and make sure you have a copy of it. You give a copy to the security, to your supervisor, to the boss, and everyone in the office doesn't need to know, but the key people do need to know.
The key people.
So that's gonna be, yeah. And even if you can, maybe you usually sit right, in your same space by the window. Maybe ask to relocate your office space to somewhere a little bit different, so they don't know exactly where you are.
Right. Right. And even have a code word for even within the office, so that if he's been seen around there, if she's been seen around there, that someone can let you know discreetly, okay, this, you need to know that we just saw them in the parking lot, or we saw them in the vicinity, or I was on my lunch break and they were right across the street, and so that's important. You can ask someone at work to help screen your calls. What Lisa said is really important. Get an order of protection. You want to keep it on you or near you at all times, because if the police are called, they're going to ask to see it. And if you don't have it, there's a real good chance they're not going to even try to help you at all. So you need to have that on you. If it's destroyed for any reason, they get angry and they rip it up or whatever. You can get another copy with the clerk of the court. So you want to make sure that you get copies. If you have,
and give a copy to a few people, a friend, a neighbor, somewhere. Oh, I don't have it, but I can grab it from my mom's house or whatever. So
have it placed, strategically. And regarding your domestic violence safety plan, you do not want your abuser to get their hands on it, period, because then they'll know how you're thinking. So you can't be careless with it. You cannot be careless with it, right? Some people do great planning in their head, but we want you to use this as a guideline so that you make sure you touch on every area that you need to touch on, and maybe some areas that you hadn't even thought about. What else?
I would add follow through. I have been guilty of going to the courthouse and filing a restraining order and not going back to the set court saying, oh, he said sorry. Oh, we're trying to work it out. Follow through with completing the restraining order. You will regret not doing it.
You will regret not doing it, for sure. Yeah. For sure. And I don't know how many people can honestly say that they haven't sabotaged themselves at some point, even with an order of protection. Because the other thing that you need to guard against is the urge that you will get, no matter what they did to you, to get closure.
Yeah.
To ask, why did you do this to me? To have a conversation.
I just want to talk to you.
I just want to talk to you. And many victims end up dying that last time they go to see the abuser, because that was the plan the entire time. The plan is correct. Going to leave me and keep going. That's not going to happen. So there's nothing to get closure about. You need to be able to accept that there is something wrong with them, and that the longer you stay with them, the sicker you become. It's the only way you can stay.
That's so good. That's so good. It's true.
The sicker you become. You can't stay without getting sick. You can't do it unless you get sick with them. You can't stay in it unless
and they train you to be that sick. It's like they gave you the sickness and they continue to keep you sick. They continue to keep you sick.
And then that desire for understanding, and that desire for the person that you thought they were, who never existed, by the way, keeps us, in that cycle, in that crazy, crazy cycle. So once you leave, once you get out, stay away. Stay away, stay away, stay away. Don't go meet them. Don't respond to social media. Don't respond to Snapchat. Don't respond to Instagram, Facebook. Don't do it. Don't.
But I still have their clothes, and he just wants to get his stuff from me. So what do I do?
I'm not taking him anything. I'm not taking
at all.
I'm not giving him nothing. Nothing,
I have the
nothing, nothing.
police come get it for you. Let them know where to drop it off. You can pick it up from the police station. You don't need to see me one last time. I don't need to give you back the engagement ring. Mm-mm.
We don't.
I'll mail it.
Yeah, we don't have anything to.
No,
We don't have anything to
no,
talk about. We do not.
no.
And I'm gonna say from a spiritual standpoint, at one point I couldn't understand why can I not break free from this person and stay free from this person? Like what? Why? And they will even put themselves in harm's way to lure you back. They will put themselves in harm's way to lure you back. Well,
Absolutely.
if she won't talk to me, then I'm gonna do this. Well, if she don't talk to me, I'm gonna kill myself. I think the last time I said, well, I can only pray your mama got a black dress because I.
That was a good one. That's a good one. Well, I'm gonna kill myself then. I'm gonna kill myself then if you leave me.
Or I'm gonna hurt your family, which means you need law enforcement protection if threats like that are being made because there's no end to that threat. There's no end to that threat. There's no end to that threat. You know, and that just means that they've become completely unraveled, and you cannot reason with them. You cannot reason with them. So let's see what else. There are lots of documents that you need to make sure you have. So in preparation, preparation, right? Things are getting a little rocky around the house. You're not sure if you want to leave, don't want to leave.
Right.
There are a series of things that you need to make sure that you have certified copies of, not copies that you made at the library, because nobody's going to accept that. Certified copies of, and these are things that you can do over time. These are things that you need to keep in a separate, safe place. You have a friend who's actually a friend and not afraid of the person, not intimidated by the person, and not related to the person, right? Hold these documents for you. Think about it in terms of going to the hospital, preparing to have a baby. There's a bag that you need to maintain.
Ready to go.
Keep things in so that you are ready to go.
Because it can happen at any minute.
Anytime that you're ready to go. And if you're concerned about being able to get out of your own house, your own dwelling with this bag or with these belongings, it's a good idea, I think, to have this bag someplace else. I can give Lisa my bag. And it's got certificates, security cards, it's got vaccination records, it's got all these things. My visa, my passport, my work permit, whatever it is that I need to function in society, she has at her house. If I have to get out, all I have to do is get me out. If I have children, I grab me and my kids and I'm out. I'm not, that is not the time to run through the house trying to collect stuff. That is not the time to do it.
No.
When it's time to go, it's time to go. When it's time to go, it's time to go. And if you can go when they're not there, that's even better. Figure out how to exit without them being there, then that's even better. All right.
Yeah.
On average, a woman leaves 7 times before she makes it permanent. And we said this last week. 7 times is a lot of times. The abuse is escalating each time she departs or he departs and comes back.
Yes.
It increases exponentially. And it's really connected to how threatened they feel by the fact that you left in the first place. Like, how dare you entertain this thought? And then you actually did it. I got to rein you back in. I got to get you back under control. I have to make you afraid of me so that you are afraid to even think about.
Yes, correct. Okay. And I think for me, I think that's what scared me toward the end is that I'm like, wait a minute, this is getting worse and worse and worse. It's getting worse. I would leave and I'm like, no, I have the kid. I love him. Let me go back. And then it started getting worse. I'm like, oh my goodness, he's doing things he never did before. And I just knew it was inevitable.
Right. Because the things that he was doing before was no longer working.
Right. Correct. So we got to try something.
So now you have to up the ante. So you want to think about pictures. If you have kids, if they have a special toy or something like that, get them 2 of them so that they can have one in this bag. Because you don't want to get trapped in the house looking for a teddy bear. All right. But you want them to have something that they find comforting. What else? Your vehicle registration, insurance cards, pictures. Order protection if you have it, because we said that, and if you don't have one, you need to get one right after you vacate the premises. All right. All of those kinds of documents, but you want certified copies. You want them kept in a safe place so that the only thing you have to be concerned about is getting yourself out. If you take medications, if the kids take medications, you want to get some so that you can leave it someplace else. You don't want to be stuck there because they grab the baby's asthma medicine.
Yeah, and they know that, and they know the baby needs it.
And they know
Like my son, he has asthma and allergy, so I have an EpiPen here, and a pump there. I always ask the doctor for extra because I can have one somewhere else. You know what I mean? And then one on me. It's just so important.
It is
because you don't want, we got to go back home because we don't have the baby's medication.
Right. And then you want to keep important numbers. The National Domestic Violence Hotline is a good number to have because they can give you a resource no matter where you are in the country. They can give you a resource that's local to you. And I think I had Kelly to post that number. You want the police number. If you have a DV shelter, you want that number. If you have an advocate, you want that number. Your supervisor's phone number, so you're not worrying about your employment or whatever. Okay?
Yeah.
If you had escaped at 3 a.m, you don't want to lose your job, okay? Because you didn't have a conversation with them regarding what's going on. You want to make sure that you file a police report. And we touched on this earlier, but no matter how harmless you think the situation is, well, he punched me in the eye this time, but last time he actually broke my arm, so it's not as bad. So I'm not going to report it. He said he was sorry.
Yeah.
She said she was sorry.
Yeah, and it wasn't as bad, so
Right. So every single time, number one, it'll help you to realize how frequently this stuff is actually happening. Okay. Yeah. But you need to be on the radar for the local police department so that they can know that if they get a call to your address, that is probably serious. Okay.
Yeah.
So you want to do that. Don't be embarrassed because you had to order protection and then they lured you and you went over there and now it's a big old mess. So now I can't call for help because I shouldn't have been anyway.
They'll use that one against you too.
Right.
Yeah.
And part of it, if they try to get you over there, they'll try to get you to violate your own order, right?
So, correct.
So that you look crazy in court.
Mm-hmm.
So you look like you're the problem and you won't leave them alone.
And it works. They do it.
And they do it. And they
do it.
Well, if you're not going to stay away, then we're not going to keep,
That's it verbatim. Yeah. That's it verbatim.
If you're not.
And talking about leaving too, whenever the incidences are happening, I would encourage you guys to take pictures, send them to someone. Send them to a file. Stay out of the cloud, by the way. Stay out of the cloud. I'm not an iPhone user, but I know the cloud exists.
Yes.
Stay out of the cloud. Take pictures, send it to someone, email it to someone, email it to yourself, whatever. Email it, get it out of there, delete it when you're done, because you're going to need all those. Because let me tell you something. One thing they're good at is making you just look absolutely crazy. Because they're the calmest people. They're not big and irate and angry. Right. I didn't do anything. I didn't do anything to him. I didn't do anything to her. And then you can go through and show the pictures
and issues. He's really stressed. He lost his cousin, and they were really close. Yeah. So
happens all the time.
But I think it'll be okay. They'll make you think you crazy, and you were there when.
And then we're high strung and emotional, and we're like, no, we're crying and hysterical because of the trauma that we've endured, and they're just sitting over there like calm as day. I would say keep pictures and evidence of things, bruises, holes in walls. Whatever you need to do to keep evidence of what's happening.
And the good thing about in this day and age taking pictures is everything's date time stamped. So if you take the picture, you have the date and the time when it occurred. But it brings me to another thing. As far as technology is concerned, understand that your abuser, be they male or female, may have keystroke technology on your computer. They may have it on your phone. Okay. They may have GPS on your vehicle or on your
phone.
So
on your phone too.
Periodically check your phone and make sure that you're not got some app on there that you didn't put on there. And I would say just get a burner phone. I mean, you need to have a burner phone. Put that in that bag with all those things, all those certified copies and all that. You need a phone because you don't want to use a phone that, number one, that they can put an app on and find you and track you.
Yeah, absolutely.
My family uses one right now. We know where everybody is all the time because we got the app on the phone. I know when they got there. I know when they got back. I know how fast they was driving.
Technology. That's crazy.
Yeah. So GPS, checking the mileage on your car, all that kind of stuff. I've been through all of that. All of that.
That's a big one.
And what's crazy is when you find yourself conforming to, it's exactly 5 miles to the grocery store.
Yeah.
Right grab something from over there. Oh, but I can't because I said I was going to the grocery store, and that's only 5 miles round trip. That is great. Now you know when you start conforming to this madness that
It's just no way to live. It's no way to live. And we hate talking about this stuff only because it's like we don't want anyone to live like this.
Right.
But what we want you to do is be prepared
Yes.
and equipped to stay alive.
Right.
And so we pray that eventually, soon, you would find the strength to be able to leave.
Right. And if you have children, one of the things that you can do is talk to them about dialing 911.
Yep.
Using the code word or the phrase. It can be something as simple as, did you have your bath? Or did you brush your teeth? Or something that's not going to set off alarm bells so that they know that you need help and that things have gotten serious. But they need to know how to dial 911. Now, you want to keep in mind, your children. And if you have one, as the old folks say, who can't hold water, that says teach everything, you can't have that conversation with them. You cannot have that conversation.
Or a conversation at all. Right. Mommy was talking to Auntie Jenny about leaving,
Right. You can't.
Puts everybody in danger.
Know them and consider their age and their maturity and all of that. We left my father when I was like 10. I think I was 10. And I remember my mother having a conversation with me, and she said, we have to go, and I need for you to be a big girl, and this is what I need for you to do. And I literally packed up as soon as he left to go to work. But wait, we had wooden floors in the house. Why did he forget something? Lord have mercy.
Oh my gosh.
I thought my heart was in my throat. You hear me? But he didn't come upstairs because that's where I had the boxes up there. She had brought boxes home, and we packed up and all that. We were gone before he got into work. And that's how we had to go, because it was getting It was off the charts crazy in there. And when the police would come, it would be, oh, officer. I mean, it was almost confusing. I have no idea. She's really high strung. She works at a mental institution, and that's really stressful. We're just having a disagreement. It's not a big deal. And I'm standing there and I'm looking like I was there. You can actually, and it's called gaslighting. You can actually be in the middle of the abusive situation and begin to question what you experienced.
Right.
Listening to them. Just listen.
Absolutely.
Talk. They'll talk you out of it.
Absolutely.
Talk you completely out of it. And I'm thinking, what is he talking about? So, again, we cannot reiterate this enough. We want you to understand that we get it. Everybody's in a different place, in a different stage or whatever. There are women that I interact with on a daily basis who tell me they've been in an abusive situation for 25 years. There are women who send me pictures of x-rays where their tibia has been fractured and all their toes broken and arm broken and orbital socket broken. And they either have left, or they left and went back, or they left and he's in prison and they want to talk to him and they don't understand. So it's a process, and we're not saying that it's easy, and that everybody's going to sprinkle fairy dust. It is hard, but you know what? We want you to live and have the kind of life that God intended for you to have, which does not include being demeaned and denigrated and beat on, respected, and ground to powder. That was not his purpose for your life.
No, at all.
For your life. If you are a person of faith, the awesome thing is that everything that you've experienced, it doesn't have to be for nothing. That something good can come out of it. Something good can come out of it. It really, really can. There is success on the other side of it. There is love. There is on the other side of it. We promise. It is possible. We promise. See, look at her face. I'm gonna need her husband to do a cameo the next time we see who this is that got her all this happy. But
that's so funny. It's definitely available on the other side, and I think that if they know that there's hope, because they break you down so much for you to think that no one would ever want you, all that kind of stuff, and you believe it, And like I said last time, I said if I knew what was on the other side of that abuse, I'd have left it a long time ago. I'm like, wait a minute, there's life and there's love, and you can breathe and you can be yourself and be free.
Right.
And I spent years just being beaten down for what? You
Right.
just don't think anything else is there. You know
Right.
what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
I think the Lord, I think in my situation, he said, okay, let me just allow him to say something so crazy that it just snaps her out of it. And these
Ooh.
were the word, I'll never forget it. And I was living in Florida and we're on the turnpike. I'm going to break you. Who says that to somebody out
I'm
loud?
gonna what?
I'm
Break
going
you?
to break you.
Oh
Just
my.
like that. And I was like, oh, no, no, no. It was like, it's something about the fact that you, what? No,
Wow.
no.
Wow.
So I did right then.
Yeah.
I didn't say, but right
Yeah.
internally, I was like, oh no, 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 no.
Mm-hmm.
That will not
Mm-hmm.
be my testimony.
Yeah.
That will not be my testimony. I have survived too much already.
That's right.
I am convinced that I have a purpose greater than being your supply. Okay.
Yeah.
You
Yes.
know,
Or being broken by you. Hello. No.
and then you're gonna say it. I'm just like,
You
what?
know, and I think like what broke, like physically, spiritually, emotionally, there's just the ability for them to be able to break so much. It's a no. It's a
Right.
no.
I'm like, oh
Mm-mm.
no. I don't like that plan. Like
Mm-mm.
I don't like that plan. I'm not co-signing that. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. There's got to
Wow.
be. This cannot be. This cannot
No.
be my life. And so we
No.
want you all to know that we believe in your ability to come through this. That you're not alone. It will feel like it.
Mhm.
It will feel like nobody could possibly understand.
Yeah. But we do.
Understand.
We really do.
How did I get here? How
Yes.
did I get? What did I do to deserve this? Or what is it about me? And it doesn't have to be initially that anything's wrong with you. You know, as therapists, we know that a lot of times people are broken, men and women, and so then you
Yes.
attract crazy.
Absolutely.
You attract crazy.
Yes.
Attract unhealthy and nightmares.
Yes.
Nightmares that
Yes.
smell good and look good and all that, but nightmares,
Mm-hmm.
nonetheless. But it could be initially that there's nothing wrong with you. What better source of supply? That
Yes.
person that's kind, with a big heart, loving, open, confident.
Mm-hmm.
There's all kinds
Mm-hmm.
of supply. If you can tap into that and drain it,
Yeah.
there's a whole
Yes.
lot.
A broken ego needs to feed off of that.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And needs to know that, wow, I conquered that.
Mm-hmm.
I conquered that
Mm-hmm.
person with the big heart and with the confidence and with all the friends and the status in life and the education or the drive to be something in life. And
Mm-hmm.
I was able to pull that.
Horrible.
So it doesn't have to be that anything's wrong with you. Maybe nothing is wrong with you.
Yeah.
But the longer you stay, the sicker you become. It's the only way to stay. You can't
Mm-hmm.
stay and not be sick. And it would be unbearable. You can't stay and not be sick.
Because the moment you get well is the moment you start to think clear. Wait a minute, this isn't right.
Right. This
I
is
think
not
I'm gonna have to safety plan my way out of this thing.
right.
You can't get well because if you get well, it cripples who they've allowed you to be, who they've
Right.
created you to be. No,
Right.
no, 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 no.
Right.
They don't
Right.
like it. They don't like you to get well.
No, they don't want you to get well. They don't want you to get well. And
But
so
the
if
best
you
thing you
get
can
well,
do for yourself is to get well.
right, right. And if you get well, right, of
Forget
course they
about it.
want you back because the
Yeah.
supply. Come
Yeah.
on.
Yeah.
Fresh supply. Fresh supply that they're
Mm-hmm.
familiar with. Not nearly
Yep.
as much legwork because they already knows what kind of works. You know what I'm saying? So don't beat yourself up if you are one who has been in it and left and gone back because it's kind of
No,
part of the
don't feel
process.
bad.
Again, our concern is we just want you to stay alive.
I love
The
it.
first thing you need to do is tell somebody that it's happening. And don't tell anybody that's connected to them, afraid of them, thinks they're an amazing person, cannot imagine them behaving the way that you just described. Just end the conversation.
Mm-mm.
Save the spit. Don't waste your time. Um, and just know there's life on the other side. There is.
Yeah,
You know,
there is.
I don't know about for you, but for me, it's almost surreal when I look back. It's
Yeah.
like,
What?
right?
You gotta be kidding me.
Like you went down a rabbit hole. It's like, what in the
Yeah.
world happened?
What was
Right.
I thinking?
What was I thinking? What
Thank
was
you,
I thinking?
Jesus.
Right.
Thank
So
you, Jesus, for pulling me out.
yes, God is good. God is good. And I'm determined it won't be for nothing. It won't be
Yes, exactly.
for
Absolutely.
I'm gonna help everybody I can help. I'm crying aloud and spare not. Reminder about the contest. We need a name for
Yes.
the Facebook group. We need a name. We need a name. So inbox me. We got like 19,000 followers online at Judah Global Impact Ministry. So you please inbox me on the personal. Oh my
It's gonna be
God.
a full inbox.
Woo. Yeah, so inbox me on whichever one you want to inbox me on. I'll keep track of it, I promise. And then I'll set up a poll and everybody can vote on what name would be the name, all right? And then I'll publish like group rules and things like that. But I want let your ministry leaders know that there's a private Facebook group. I'm telling you, the first step is saying the words to somebody else, acknowledging that it's happening. And even if you're not someone that's in the situation yourself, if you are in a church, in a ministry, and people are submitted to you, right, for their spiritual growth, for their education, or whatever, someone that you are responsible for is struggling with this.
Yeah.
Right?
Period.
Someone is struggling with this, and so we have to know how to deal with it, what to say to them, all right, without making things worse, because it's possible to say something that causes them to completely shut down. And that's the one. Isolation is the fertilizer for whatever in a person wants to. They can get you by yourself, and that's a spiritual concept, right? Divide and conquer. If you can make someone get them by themselves and cut them off from light and love and support, they will begin to believe whatever you tell them over time.
So true.
Okay, so let us know what your suggestions are for the group. Encourage your ministry leaders to join the group where we can have candid discussions about what we can do inside of these ministries so that we can be a haven for people, because that's what the Lord desires, that we are able to undergird and support each other. Not bully each other into making a decision, but be a genuine support, right? We touched on something last week. Don't take it personal if a family member, because sometimes I'll have family members reach out to me and say, well, they're going through this. I know he's beating her. I know she's doing this to him, but they're not ready to leave. But every time they have an argument, they come over here and I get tired. You want to have healthy boundaries. Healthy boundaries. You don't want to not respond because you're setting yourself up for a catastrophe if something horrible happens.
Yeah.
Then you have,
because that could be the one time
they reached out for me and I didn't answer. And then that happened. So you don't want to saddle yourself with that.
No.
So you want to respond, and you may just have to say the same thing. When you're ready, implement your plan. How are you doing? Do you have a plan?
Are you ready to execute the plan? Are you ready? No? Okay.
Are you ready to execute the plan? Okay, so what's the code word so that I know
that you're ready?
That you're ready. All right. They just need to know that somebody's there. That somebody's there. Okay. And they also may be concerned about your safety as well. Because one of the things that an abuser likes to threaten is to hurt people that you care about.
Yeah.
I don't have any problem with verbalizing those threats. So there you go. Am I forgetting anything? The contest. Kelly, loads of pictures of some of your pretty purses, please.
Yes. I want to know what we can win.
So the purse, an Amazon gift card, and I think I'll throw in a free enrollment to our what not to say course.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
For free for whoever wins. Okay, and we'll launch it by the beginning of June. That'll give you all time, but you can start inboxing me your suggestions, and then what I'll do later on is I'll post those 3 places that you can sign up in order to get your safety plan. And you can feel free, use it however you need to use it, amend it, change it, add stuff to it. Really just want to provide you with like a tickler file of things that you want to keep.
Right, a guideline, because it's personal. You're going to have to adjust a few things, but
it is personal. And you want to think about, again, where you are, when you do leave. Don't forget, 2 to 3 months immediately following an exit is incredibly dangerous. Incredibly dangerous. It's almost like it takes that long for them to maybe accept, maybe find new supply. They find new supply, they're a little less likely to bother you.
Yeah.
But a lot of times they stay fixated on you. So 2 to 3 months, statistics show, is a really dangerous time. But I'm saying from experience that even after that, you want to always just be aware. So, everybody
Always.
all the time. I can tell you if I walk into a restaurant right now, I know where all the exits are. And you don't even know I know. I did all of that walking in.
Yep.
Which people,
Yep. It becomes a routine. It becomes a routine, a habit kind of thing, just to protect yourself.
Just to protect
'Cause you
yourself. And
never
it's
know.
really not a bad idea, just given the state of society. We need to be more aware of our surroundings anyway. Anybody have any questions about the safety plan or what needs to be shared on the safety plan? Kelly, was there a question last week that we didn't answer? You can just type it on the screen. I'm trying to remember.
I think it was about safety planning.
Oh, okay. Right. So, yeah, Dr. Ashley Folks mentioned that there was a coworker that they were walking to the car all the time because I guess her ex had been spotted in the parking lot, but that they really didn't know at the workplace. They didn't know what else that they could do other than just walk her to the car when she got off from work. But I think we kind of touched on that, like even having a code word screening calls, maybe having them check in when they do get home so that
that's true.
That I'm inside,
Yeah.
and I'm okay.
Yeah. Drive a different way home, checking with someone. Hey, check the doors and the windows when you get home. Just have if you don't want to be home by yourself, see if you have a roommate or someone be home with you or something like that.
Right.
Just for that extra safety and security.
Right. And in the event that there's an issue and the abuser's arrested, taken away from the home, years ago they used to just tell them to go for a walk.
Oh.
Just take a walk around the block. What? Okay.
Can you imagine?
Yes, because I actually witnessed that. And what's going to happen when they get back?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? They're going to really be
we know.
Because you were here. You know what I'm saying? So, in the event that the abuser is removed from the home, say they are arrested, they go to jail or whatever, and they get released, you want to make sure when you go back home that you have changed locks, that you have reinforced windows, that you have done all of those things. Just make sure that home is secure. You may need to fix the whole door. If you can get a steel door, get a steel door. But you want to make sure that you secure your home. Okay. We have another question.
Okay. List of content in the safety bag included on the website.
There is a list of content for the safety bag included in the safety plan.
In the safety plan so that's on the website?
When you sign up for the blog, Judas Roar, or for one of our online courses, or you go to our website, right? And I can post that when we get off of here. Then you'll be offered an opportunity to subscribe. When you do that, it will trigger. You'll get the content. Whole list. And if you see something on the list, or you see that something's missing from the list, let us know. We get added to the list. Any other questions? All right. I'm curious to see who wins the purse that from Jakayla Marie. So we're gonna post some pictures of the options for that. And remember our Amazon gift card. And I guess I'll give somebody a free class.
Yes.
Anything you wanted to add, Lisa?
No, I think we touched on a lot. I love it.
All right. So I told Lisa she has an open invitation because I have to do this weekly because that's what God said. So I have to do it weekly anyway. So whenever she wants to, she is welcome to join me.
Thank you. I appreciate that open invitation.
She is welcome to join me. So we'll be back next week. I'll most likely do it on Tuesday just because now it's in my head. If that changes, then I'll let you know. And I think I want to talk about flying monkeys so that we are familiar with what that is and how many different forms that can actually take. It's really, really important. It'll help to sharpen your discernment as you kind of go through the process. No matter what stage you're in, whether you're still there, you're planning to leave, or you're already gone. All right? Yeah. All right. Well, anything you wanted to add about Stand Up Survivors? Anything you have?
No, you can just check out our Facebook page at Stand Up Survivor on Facebook. No, not really. No,
Okay.
they can check it out
All
there.
right. And for those of you who didn't get on in the very beginning, we had when I checked yesterday, we had 1,023 views worldwide for our discussion from last week. So
Yeah, that was
I'm
awesome.
excited about that because this is what God has really charged us to do, is to raise awareness, to bring it to people's attention so that they can be, more aware of what's going on, how to get help. And it's mind-blowing how many people are telling me that they've experienced this right in the church, or they have a position in church and they've experienced this. So we want them to know that that does not represent God's character. God is not okay with it. He does not approve of it. That is not submission. And I will end on this note. It is not the wife's duty to submit to an abusive partner.
Ooh, preach.
It's not.
Yes.
Not being understanding.
Amen.
To tolerate it either. It's wrong.
Amen.
Doing it. No matter who's doing it, is wrong.
Amen.
That's submission.
No.
Misappropriation of scripture. Thank you very much.
Yep.
All right. Join us next week. Thank you, Lisa.
All right. See you.
Thank you. Bye. See you guys.